What is going on, guys? Mitchell Phillips here, and welcome back to another video on Forza Horizon 4. As you guys know, the Lamborghini Centenario, the cover car for Forza Horizon 3, and the best X-Class car in the game. Well, now we have the Mclaren Senna. Are we going to see the same thing? Is the Mclaren Senna going to be the replacement, if you will, and become the best X-Class car in Forza Horizon 4? That's what we're going to find out. Now, as a lot of you know, we only have access to the demo right now, but I do think we can actually conduct some pretty accurate tests to find out if the Senna is going to be the best car in the game. Now, this doesn't necessarily prove it, because you never know with DLC, with the 720S. We don't know how the new cars are going to perform necessarily, but we can compare it to the Centenario in Forza Horizon 3, and I do believe it is safe to assume that the cars coming over from Horizon 3, for the most part, are not going to be tampered with. I could see a situation where the Centenario gets nerfed slightly because of how amazing it is, maybe even to make way for the Senna. Just a scenario, not saying that will happen, but other than that, it doesn't seem very time efficient for playground games to tamper with the performance of cars they already have built and ready to go, when they could be spending that time developing other cars or other facets of the game. So for that reason, I do believe comparing the Centenario in Horizon 3 to the Senna in Horizon 4 will still prove to be as accurate as, we can gauge with the demo. Starting off, let's go over the stats of these cars. What is cool is if the Senna does end up taking the spotlight, it is going to be a very different car. It's not just going to be a remake of the Centenario, and you guys will be able to see that very clearly as we go over these specs. Starting off, the 0 to 60, let's start off with the Centenario at 2 seconds flat. That's what I tested anyways on the airstrip. Now with the Senna, I tested both on the drag strip and off, and the results were about the exact same. There was really no benefit to that drag strip near the Horizon Festival, but we came out with a time of 1.88 seconds. So it actually did beat the Centenario quite well with the 0 to 60, and on paper the Senna had a 0 to 60 of 1.7. Both were launched with traction control on and automatic transmission, so that I wasn't able to interfere with skill level. It was really just me mashing the throttle, and the cars did their thing. The 0 to 100 is where things change up. The Centenario running a time of 3.35 seconds, and the Senna with a time of 3.5 seconds. So the Senna actually already is slowing down quite a bit when it comes to top end, but is it going to be able to make up for it when it comes to handling? Now on paper, the stats for these cars, the Centenario has 9.1 speed, 9.2 handling, and then 10 acceleration, launch, and braking. The Senna has a pretty awful 7.9 speed, but possibly makes up with it with 10 handling, acceleration, launch, and braking, actually scoring 10 in every other facet. What's cool about the Senna is stock. It's already at a 977 rating, very close to X-Class, and a lot of the upgrades are limited with the Senna. You do have one weight reduction upgrade, a couple engine upgrades, but you can't, for example, engine swap or anything of the sort. You are able to drivetrain swap, and ironically, switching it to all-wheel drive garnished us, if I use that word correctly, a higher top speed than rear-wheel drive, which I noticed was never really the case in Horizon 3, and I will have more videos on the differences with the drivetrains coming soon that I think will be very important to the gameplay. So I definitely encourage you guys to subscribe, and I'll have videos on those, as well as a ton of other stuff on Horizon 4 coming very soon. Now, I know a lot of you probably want to hear the power, torque, and weight figures of these cars. Both of these cars are basically Goliath tunes. I tuned the Senna the same way I would tune my Centenario for Goliath. Not going for top speed, just going for overall ability around the track. And what we came out with was the Centenario. We have 1,557 horsepower, 998 pound-feet of torque with a weight of 3,008 pounds. The power figures in the Senna are much lower. We have 1180 for horsepower, 807 pound-feet of torque, but we are quite a bit lighter, over 300 pounds lighter at 2,669 pounds. So the Senna, you can see where it's getting that 0 to 60 time from, probably the lack of over 300 pounds that the Centenario has to lug with it is making the difference there. But the horsepower and torque really pulling the Centenario away pretty quickly after that, and I would agree with what I think most of you would think. 0 to 100 is going to be a lot more important than 0 to 60 around the track. But don't forget, the Centenario has 9.2 handling and the Senna has 10 handling. Now you guys might be wondering, how am I going to test to see ultimately which car is faster and which one's going to be better around the track? The truth is, there's no great way to test it. But what I did do is I took them on some curvy roads with some high speed corners and some slow speed corners, not simultaneously but directly after each other, and got a really good feel. And I can tell you without a doubt, the Senna was immensely better around the track. And keep in mind, the Centenario I had a really good tune that actually wasn't even made by myself. A great grippy tune for Goliath, 4 high-speed turns, and it was not anywhere close to as good as the tune I quickly threw together on the Senna. The Senna grips like nothing I've ever driven, and that's why I really was so excited to drive the Mclaren Senna in this game. And I think if you guys haven't got your hands on it already, you're really going to enjoy taking the Senna on some twisty roads like I did in this video. Now I do show the G-force meter, so if you guys really want to slow it down and break down what's developing more G-forces, I can tell you right off the bat, the Senna is going to pull more G's for the most part. And the only way you're going to see the Centenario pulling more G's is in some high-speed corners. But if you compare that to the Senna in high-speed corners, it's not going to compete. The Senna is way superior at handling. The Centenario, though, I mean, superior top speed for sure. The Lamborghini Centenario pulled out a top speed of 269 miles an hour, where the McLaren Senna fell short just under 250 at around 249.5. So the difference there is pretty substantial, especially on a track like Goliath. I honestly think a track like Goliath, the Centenario is still going to pull it out, because that is a very big difference in top end speed, and the 0 to 100 time is going to give the Centenario a lot of advantages exiting corners. A lot of circuit races though, I think the Senna could be the better car in the game. The handling is just such a substantial difference from the Centenario, which is already the best handling car I've driven in Horizon 3, arguably, other than the Zonda Cinque Roadster. But that is a big feat for the Senna. We're talking about arguably the best handling car in the game getting absolutely demolished in the corners. So definitely, guys, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Be sure to drop a like if you found this video informative. I did my best to make the testing as accurate as possible. Of course, it's going to be a lot better when we actually get our hands on the Senna and the rest of the cars in the game to compare with it. But I hope you guys enjoyed, found it entertaining or informative, and I will definitely have more videos like this coming soon. So if you want more videos that will really teach you about the game, tutorials on how to make money, all that kind of stuff, I will definitely be pumping out a ton of content on those in the very near future. I really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you so much to the MVPs, the sponsors, the 7 Worlds Gaming, PapiGordo, and Tommy Temper. I will see you guys in the next one. Remember, your pain is your strength. Take it easy. I'm out.